Welcome to Team Gravity Fight Night number 39. Realistically, no one's watching quite yet, but hopefully for the VODs, there will be people that wanna see what's going on. I am Drenok, joined here by the lovely Jack Attack.
Oh, thank
How you
you.
doing, Jack Attack? What's
I am
happening with you?
great. I've been really lazy for the past month, and today I said no more, and I went for a run, so I feel good about that. Always a nice thing to do.
I feel like what happens is you say no more, and then you run like 20 feet, and you're like, yeah, I didn't exercise for a month, I can't actually run. And then you take
Oh, it was
yourself from there.
painful. It was an awful, breathy experience of 25 minutes of running, but I made it
Wow.
alive.
I'm proud of you. Like I'm very
Aw,
legitimately proud of you because
I'm
I
so
couldn't
glad
do
you're proud
that.
of me. You can do that. You can do it, and so can you, viewer. So can you. Go play a ladder game and then do a push-up or something. Health. Anyways, we've got some
Is that how you
crazy
stay
stuff
healthy?
tonight. Yeah, a non-zero amount of exercise every day, and eventually you'll find yourself just doing copious amounts of exercise because it's so addicting and beautiful and wonderful. We've got
It is beautiful.
some fantastic matches coming up. We got Neeb. Neeb, by the way, who is the highest ranked foreigner Protoss in Ligulac right now. Neeb, who has been around for quite some time, American Protoss player, kicking butts, but he's going to have to take down a much more storied opponent, iaguz, the Australian human, Terran. So it's going to be interesting. Human! We're all humans, but only iaguz and fellow Terrans are Terrans. Neeb's playing Protoss. Neeb, though, was a Terran, and then he realized if I pick Protoss, I could just cheese the
Power.
crap out of people all the time. Power Protoss. He's good.
Anytime I ladder any race, I always just like, oh, I love this, but this just makes me want to play the other races more. It's a really terrible cycle of StarCraft 2 of going to Protoss and being like, I just want a 6 pool. I just 12 pool now, and then going to Zerg and then being like,
Yep.
I'd like to drop people, and going to Terran, being like, I just want Colossus back. I just really liked Colossus, and then go back to Protoss. It's a terrible cycle.
Yeah, man. That's my favorite thing about playing random. I see a cool strategy that someone does, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go learn that now. It sounds awesome, and then I do. That's
Yeah,
good.
that would be awesome.
That's my default go figure out how to play a MOBA. I just find someone who crushes me really hard and then I watch them play. I'm like, I'm gonna try that now. And it's a good time. But yeah, so it's gonna be a wild night. Sorry we got off to a little bit late of a start, but not too big of a deal. The the vetoes are going through and the lobby is getting set up and all that jazz. So it's a perfect time for you to go ahead and follow us on Azubu. Or is it subscribe? What is the follow? It is totally. Or you can subscribe. Both
It
of those
is.
options are available, actually. That's some high-level
You-
stuff.
If you want to follow, if you want to subscribe, because there will always be, you can quote me on that because I will stand by. There will always be Team Gravity Fight Night. We will be here. This is number
Always.
39, so
1,000 years from now.
yes, always.
exist.
Period. You can follow up with
More
me
reliable
to,
than
talk
death
about it.
It's real.
That is-
It
that is
super
phenomenal.
here all the time. And we have, of course, sponsored still by Spawning Tool. Spawning Tool, one of the coolest tools that you can ever spawn in the history of spawning tools, which I think there is only one. But really cool program. You can figure out what's going on in the meta very quickly. It's a mass replay analysis website. It's spawningtool.com. It's tool with a T. And you can check that out pretty much anytime you like. And then, of course, we're here on Azubu, so you can support Azubu by going ahead and
Being
following
here,
and
technically.
subscribing. Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
being here supports Azubu in and of itself, but definitely
Yeah.
follow,
Well-
subscribe however you can.
Yeah, and if you're watching on Team Liquid right now, you can support Azubu by simply clicking on Drenek's nose right now. And if you do that, the Team Liquid will take you out of Team Liquid and into Azubu. You actually have to click his nose, though, otherwise it doesn't work. You can't just click any portion of the screen. So good luck.
Not even
trying
my
to-
face,
Not
just
the
the
face.
nose.
Has to be the nose.
Whoa, I
You
saw
know?
someone try to do that
You
right
know?
there.
Watch
Don't
out,
do that.
Swift Dog. That was like a blink, man. That was so fast. I'm so impressed.
Feel good. By the way, guys, if you were wondering, of course, we do have Neeb versus iaguz or iaguz or however you want to pronounce his name, and
Yeah.
then we will have Fantasy versus True, which will be a ZVT. That'll be one of the preliminary matches. So it'll be Neeb versus iaguz, then Fantasy v True is the preliminary, and then as the big one, What's the laugh at?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, the big
Stop.
one, Scarlet versus Hero. I was just
Big
laughing
one.
to myself. It's it's a good day when you can say the preliminary match is fantasy versus true. It's sort of like
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome. It's just one of those moments of feeling
We
good
don't care about
about
this
life.
match. Just nah,
It's
nah.
just sort of when that's the preliminary match, you know that
It's
things
a
are
hard
running
word.
deep here on Team Gravity Fight Night. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. I don't back away from a challenge though. Preliminary, there it is, out in the world. So Neeb, Protoss, iaguz, Terran. This is Legacy of the Void. Anything can happen.
Anything.
Madness all around. Absolutely anything can happen. So it's sort of it's the fun time, and you can say, "Oh God, there's no meta. I don't know what to do," and that might be upsetting or frustrating to you, or you can just sort of embrace the chaos. Just get a little Joker going on inside of you, and be like, "All right, I'm an agent of chaos, and the madness is going to ensue, and I'm going to exist within it," which is I think very fun.
There is a lot of funness in the early times of any expansion, people figuring stuff out, and it's also fun to be the guy who figures it out. Now, I don't think I've ever been that guy, but I know it's got to be fun to be the guy like, oh, I figured out you can do this and it works.
Yeah,
Oh, it's-
being like the Kiwi cocky and being like, hey, motherships are really good, and also +1 zealots against zerglings with Stargate units. And they're like, and then it happens, and it's beautiful and amazing. It's just like so good.
I don't know if I was talking to you about this one day, but I was talking to some people within ASL, and very late Heart of the Swarm, I realized I can't remember the map. I cannot remember the map, but you could do an SCV rush, just actual SCV rushing, and then if you had the proper micro versus, I believe it was Zerg, or I'm not sure which race is exactly the details, but you could, two SCVs can heal one SCV else attacking another worker, and it doesn't lose health. So you can, like, if you have really good micro, you can just go and Smurf Gold League and win with SCVs. It's really mean, but it's fun.
Yeah, and the development of the what the hell was that map? Habitation Station, float to the gold vase, and then worker rush, and then learning how to defend the worker rush, and that was the whole development of that. And you have the same kind of thing. But I mean, basically those epic moments in which the meta shifts instead of happening once every week or once every month or once every 6 months. When you're at this stage of the beta, it pretty much happens every day.
Oh, not the beta.
Something
Not the beta.
crazy. Not the beta. Game is not in beta. It's just crazy. The beginning stages of the game. Nice catch. Keeping the truths truthy as high level truthiness
True.
as possible.
True, definitely, versus fantasy. That would have been a phenomenal segue if it was an intentional, but it was intentional. So
okay.
that is, yes, iaguz versus Neeb, obviously coming up shortly, should be shortly. I'm not sure how the maps are going. We're seeing some crazy things with maps happening in the lobby. When I say crazy, I mean I can't actually read and talk at the same time. So I have no idea what's going on in that lobby, but map
That's
one
okay,
hopefully
man.
soon will be Ruins of Saras in a TvP. Every
map.
once in a while, I'd love to
Beautiful
see Neeb switch over to Terran, just like back one game.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
nah. Because he's got the skills, he's got the tools, but will he use it?
Yeah. Is he the Terran we deserve, or is he the Protoss?
Protoss we need.
It's tough to tell sometimes. And Neeb, of course, on Team BB Rage, which obviously stands for back butter rage. Whenever someone puts butter on Neeb's back, he just gets very angry about it, so much so that they've named a clan after it, which is kind of interesting.
I think the actual name of the clan is more funny than the fake name of the clan. It's Baby Rage.
Is it really?
It's Baby Rage, yeah.
Baby Rage.
Baby Rage.
Well, babies have been known to rage from time to
Yeah,
time.
very
limited
That's
control
actually a
over
very
the,
scary
emotional
thing.
faculties.
Yeah, if you think
Yeah.
about it, that's a pretty intense clan name, the Baby Rage. Just doing some vetoes, by the way. Ooh, lovely. Match, or game 3, map 3, if it does go to that, will be Central Protocol. I've pretty much been on ladder, I've just been vetoing any of the old maps, Orbital Shipyard, Ruins of Saras, and what's the third one? Lairlac Crest.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I want to have some fun new stuff, but man, Central Protocol can get pretty weird in TvP, and can get pretty weird in any
It's
matchup,
just
actually.
weird, man.
It's just
I
a
am
weird map.
so happy about the pure weird levels of that map.
It's
Really
great.
interested to see how many of these maps are going to make it into the WCS 2016 pool? Because they're really crazy, and Blizzard is committed to this map diversity, this idea of having
I love it.
maps so different that you need to play differently on the map. You can't just have one cookie cutter strategy that you use that works on every single map. Which, maps played a really big role in developing the meta and developing even the balance of Brood War in different phases in the metagame of Brood War, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of that kind of stuff going on in StarCraft 2, as we've sort of yet to see that for the most part.
I completely agree with you saying that you can't just have a cookie cutter strategy. You have to do it per map, and I love that diversity. And it's something Central Protocol. I know some people are like, oh, it's OP for this, whatever. But Central Protocol, I've actually found is not too overpowered one way, and I should actually look at the statistics for it. But it's really cool, as in it's not necessarily incredibly advantaged one way right off the bat. It takes a little while to really see it.
I
And of
think
course,
the expansions are just so far away in all circumstances. The defender's advantage is so pulled back compared to almost all other maps. And it creates this really volatile state that a lot of people are still trying to figure out in most of the matchups in general. No ramp going into the main, pretty decent sized ramp, and backdoor rocks to that secondary area where you have backdoor rocks to your main. You have the secondary area, the natural expansion with a decent sized ramp there, and it's just tough to hold, Being defensive, I don't know how well it's going to work out on that map long term.
I kind of like it so far, but as you were just to go back to what you were saying earlier with Brood War and kind of the maps actually being the ones that changed up more and changed the strategy, and I just love that there is a lot of different architecture on maps that are being implemented, especially with, as we can see, Game 4, I think, is Olrena.
Mm-hmm.
We are ready whenever you need to go in, Hawkeye, but just Olrena.
I call that map, by the way, the
different.
Bridge of Khazad-dûm map.
Oh, that's a great name.
I love that
is a
map,
phenomenal
man.
name.
It's so much fun.
I love
It's
it because
so enjoyable.
so far on either side, that bridge has never been something that I've just been like, oh, it's super overpowered this race. So like with Protoss, you just sit on Deathball one side of the Zerg, you can get Ravagers or Lurker shots on that. And then with Terran, I haven't seen that much Terran actually holding that bridge, but it's not like the main feature of that map is not the thing that everyone's always like, oh, this is stupid. I haven't really heard anyone directly be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I think that map creates like really strong Hellbat Liberator pushes for Terran against Zerg right now.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit frustrating for some Zergs out there.
I've experienced that, and I've casted that. And when I've casted it, the Zerg has lost terribly. When I've experienced it, I have lost terribly, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think it's that overpowered, though. It's just really weird to deal with. I'm still not sure what to actually make.
Too soon to say for sure. I mean, what if were we like a week and a half into this map, basically? Game to this week and a half?
Not only is it a week and a half, but then you have, like 7 other maps. So within the games you've played in a week and a half, you also have that divided by 7, essentially. And then probably even less than that because people are starting to veto it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the diversity in maps. It does provide more cool strategies. And like I was saying, not sure what to do against it yet because I'm still kind of feeling it out. I love that mentality that it's not, okay, it's overpowered. Even if something is overpowered in StarCraft 2, the better mentality is, okay, like, how do I beat it, actually? What am I going to do? If I have to have 30 Colossi to beat your one unit, then that's what I have to do or something.
It's an interesting dynamic that as games get developed more and more with community influence, the community becomes essentially part of the game development team, and trying to separate, for people members of the community or just players of the game, trying to separate that player mentality of, okay, this is how the game exists, and I'm going to work within the confines of this system to get the highest possible win percentage I can, and that being the player mentality. And then disconnecting and being like, okay, what's actually best for the game here? What is going to create, the best game long term? And I feel like it's really hard to separate those two perspectives within a single person. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
It is hard sometimes, and I know I do rage every once in a while, but I try to have the perspective, at least for myself, that, you know what? I just haven't figured out what beats it yet. What I was doing before doesn't beat it, so let's not do that and not keep trying to make it work. Some situations you should keep trying to make it work, but if you are pretty destroyed by it and just distraught.
So far, I haven't really 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb and all that. Very good. By the way, just so that you guys know, I know we haven't switched to the loading screen yet, but currently leading in the loading screen, it is iaguz who is ahead right now. Um,
I feel like I don't know
Interesting.
about that. I
Oh,
honestly don't know about that.
it might be exactly the same.
They look the same to me. I'm
Oh,
looking at it.
oh no, Neeb one on my screen. Neeb one.
Still,
How
there's
about
no
you?
move. Oh, need one.
Neeb
Yep,
gets the advantage
need
by
man.
loading in first. This will get him the advantage of having
Right off
loaded
the
in
bat.
first, which means he's
Plus
loaded
one
in first.
APM. Plus
Yep.
one APM right off the bat. He
Yep.
gets there, he starts clicking, and the
That's
spam
it.
is real.
APM, whoever has more wins, everybody knows that. Uh,
I've there we are.
do we have a game of StarCraft? I
I
think we
think we
do.
do.
I think we have one. I love StarCraft. Let's watch this game of StarCraft.
Let me set
Spawning
up
in
my
the
hotkeys.
right. Spawning in the side over here on the right side of the map. It's Neeb.
So I don't know if you guys knew, but Jack Attack and I have been doing a lot of golf commentary recently. So top left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, iaguz. Could you even hear me with that?
Oh yeah, I did. That was good.
Okay. At right at the end of it, I was like, "Oh crap! I have a noise gate on." Oh
Oh
crap! I really
wow.
can't hear anything.
Oh, good point. We do though have Igas lining up his shot. The initial supply depot is down. Going to continue building mortars here, and
Is he
the
gonna go for the
minerals are rising. It
nine
looks like
marine?
a command center first
Nine
build
marine.
here
Oh, man.
from Igas. Yep, very good. And ooh, drops it off directly in the right spot. Very excellent move here, opening up from Igas, and little probe going out there to scout that out almost immediately. We do have horizontal spawns here on Ruins of Saros.
Horizontal spawns should prove to be an interesting game, a little bit more direct route to your opponent, but maybe the drops aren't quite so powerful. In the main, there was a ton of room for both players, though, so we may see War Prisms or Medevacs. We'll still have to see. iaguz actually won't be going for a refinery at all right here, which,
Mm.
I kind of like it and I kind of don't. Normally, what I am used to seeing is you can do two racks off one refinery, but in this situation, or two racks producing Reapers off one refinery, but the situation is
Rack.
gonna three racks it.
He's just gonna keep going with the racks. He's got racks on racks on racks over here. He's just keeping it going. He hangs out with Alarax. You know what I'm saying? He's having a good time with his racks. And normal stuff on the
You know what
Protoss
I'm
side of
saying?
things.
You feel me?
You know what I
You know what I'm
mean?
saying?
Racks. And yeah, Cybercore's down, finished up, looking pretty good overall. And this is just one of those things, right? You have to. It's despite the fact that so many things have changed, many things still remain, and the essential balance of investing in either economy, technology, or army is still there. So when you go for this really fast expand build, it's really hard to tech up fast without taking large risks. So a lot of times you see players that go for the more greedy opening, following up with an investment in army, and that's just sort of one of those general things you can adhere to, and it'll help your decision making. And oh man, you know what is so funny? I commented when I was doing the golf thing that he had put the Iagas had put the command center in the perfect place, and he didn't at all. It
Had to
was
move
one
it.
to the side. That's hilarious.
One adept
Adept
will
coming in.
be moving out. Yeah, adept coming in. No, actually, the adept will not cancel the shade early enough, but maybe it can beat the Marines straight up. No,
Well,
the
it's
answer is
pretty
sadly
good,
no.
but yeah, missing a lot of shots there. That's going to cancel, right? Yeah, we got a little cancel going on there. Looking nice overall.
By
I
the
mean,
way, when you were talking about spending, I always hate, or I always feel like no one ever pays attention to the tab, but you do have the spending tab technically with the economy, technology, army,
mm,
and it doesn't really show that much interesting stuff right now. You could read into it more, but it's always kind of interesting that I always felt like when I first started watching StarCraft that it was going to be used more in cast. And actually, these adepts are thinking, oh, the adepts will not finish on the other side.
the bane of all casters because every single time they go through like that. A
It
little
felt
bit
like
of
they did
harassment.
because if they weren't, they're just kind of holding around the Marines for a little while. For now, though, they will kite in, kite out. Shade's looking for something, but it's going to be continually canceled. And honestly, when I've seen some of the really good Protosses, professional Protosses, Korean
Mm.
guys, even they every once in a while will accidentally send the shade in without canceling it. And it's real heartbreaking for me. Oh no, Hawkeye.
Oh no. Hawkeye's been having some bad times today, guys. Hawkeye, our observer, also admin, also organizer, also RSL guy. He's everywhere. He's doing all kinds of things. So, just we need the spirit bomb of computer connections right now, and just go ahead, get your
Just a
hands
pause.
together and clap for happiness and all that kind of stuff. But
Oh,
we're gonna go ahead
oh.
and we're gonna drop a pause for Hawkeye real quick before he drops it.
I just need to say he's the streamer because I feel like
Yes.
double game pause. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh. Mm.
Wow. Good tie. Good tie. Next time around, I will surely beat you.
I feel like I paused a little quicker, but anytime I'm with pro players,
Well,
like
actually, I see your pause on top of my pause. So did you
same,
see that as
same.
well?
I
All
do,
right, we're
yes.
gonna have to award the credit to you then. I think that you're the victor. You're 1-0 for pauses so far in our co-casting history. I will be keeping score for the rest of our casting lives, which
All
hopefully
right.
is
One
forever
zero.
until we become into dead. Definitely mark that down in your calendars, ladies and
One
gentlemen at
zero.
home. It is an exciting game within the game because when the game is paused, not too many people know this, there's actually nothing happening because the game doesn't move forward. And as a result, we here at the caster booth like to make meta games, if you will, about the game, and the pausing game is one of those games.
Also, one of the games, who loads in first? There's a lot of betting. I personally had about 20 cents on Neeb, and he won, but I think Jack Attack also did. So we'll just kind of exchange our money and feel
Yep.
good about ourselves.
Yep. Absolutely. We're always right, actually, with the loading wars. We've never been wrong in the history
Yeah.
of taking bets
Wait.
on who loads
So
first. We've always been right.
if we put together the betting and the pausing war, I come
Right.
out like 150. I come out maybe 200%, 100%. You're like 75.
Yeah. Yeah.
About
Something like
100%.
that.
You're about 75.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not a net loss. Is the point really? You know,
Mm.
it's a net gain for
Net gain. Yeah.
whoever's betting
Fair.
against us though. You're doing real bad. You're in trouble. You're
It's
actually,
terrible, man.
yeah, things aren't going well for you. Um,
All right. We're going to have a rehost, I think.
resume from replay.
Hawkeye, our streamer and everything is going to have to get out, so there's no way to fix the lag. Hawkeye does the heart, Neeb does KK. What's the this is the game within a game. What is iaguz gonna do, guys?
Nothing.
What
He's
is
not going
iaguz?
to do anything. He's going to leave the game.
I think he's
All,
gonna. I thi-
all right.
What we
Oh,
have? No,
Hawkeye's gone.
iaguz.
If
Wait,
Iaguz
Hawkeye's
leaves
gone, so
without
they
saying
can't say
anything,
it.
I'm
They can't
victorious.
see it.
Yes.
No. I
Woo!
think. Wait, does that make us like
Or why
I'm?
back attack? Well, you didn't bet against me. It's just that I get a point.
You
In
get a
general.
point. Wait. Let's
For
think about this though,
anyone
because
on the stream that went against me and decided to bet against me, they were wrong again. Yeah, as usual. And I acquired all of their
ooh.
points.
I'll
As a
just
result.
have iaguz at 175 more points than Neeb when we
Yes.
exited out. I
Yep.
think there's a clear victory right there.
Clear point victory
175
there.
points. Man.
Yep.
Wait,
But
so
yeah,
what
I
does this
really like
what does this
the
really put us at? Plus 1 point. I got to think about this for one second. What does it put you at? Because you have another 1 out of 1. So far you're like 2 out of 3, and
it's the
I'm
deal though. You're right. I think you're undervaluing the value of a point. 1 point is worth 10 to 10,000 esports dollars, depending on the exchange rate,
oh
which will
oh
then convert itself into approximately that number of
dollar and a half.
actually Canadian dollars,
Mm,
but in
mm.
cents, right? So you divide that by 100. So I'm approximately up $52.32 Canadian at the moment.
You're doing really well for yourself, my man Jack. I don't even make any money casting, and he makes money just believing in himself, essentially.
Right. The power of belief. I think that they have YouTube videos on that, and I'm pretty sure people start cults on that as well. So very powerful stuff right there.
Incredibly powerful. You can win tournaments. You can
Yeah.
marry 10 wives with belief. You can do a lot of things.
You can do it's true. Think about the history of the world and the things that have been
Oh,
accomplished with just belief.
have I not said when I was casting with you before, Jack, that there needs to be a little button that's I believe in this unit, and it gives it like plus 10 health, whatever, or like
Exactly.
plus 20 shield, something like that? Just
Well,
I believe.
that actually already exists, but it only shows up if you truly believe. So, since it
No,
hasn't shown up for you yet, it's probably because you really, truly don't believe in the button.
But I do believe in the button is
No,
the thing.
clearly
One of
you
the-
don't. You obviously don't. If you did, it would show up. keep praying and believing and just you know, with every you know, fiber of your being, you're probably missing like 2 or 3 fibers. That's the problem. You're probably
Wait, so if I have some more shredded wheat, maybe I'll get in there? Like I need
yeah,
a couple fibers?
yeah. You know,
That's, guys, shredded wheat. We're
apples,
just going to give a little
fruits, you know?
broadcast.
Yeah, go ahead. Make sure you have that high
Little
fiber
plug.
diet, and you'll be able to believe with every fiber of your being because you'll have more fibers. Carbon
Oh,
fibers, actually, if you can get those into your diet, they're even stronger than regular fibers. That's why
diamond fibers?
they make
Anyone?
cars out of them, actually, which is they're so powerful as a result. It's like a 60 to 6,000 horsepower fiber, which is very good. You know, fiber also the thing that they make internet out of. The good internets are made out of fibers. So
Lots of fibers here and there, of course, and waves. There are much waveness things within the interwebs.
yeah, I've actually heard that everything is waves that exist. We're all just waves.
I actually read that. I feel like I actually also did read that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see, guys, we're loading again into Ruins of Sarah, so you won't have to hear us talk about random crap that
Thank
almost
God.
makes sense to us, but it still doesn't actually 100% make sense to us.
Yeah.
This because I don't believe enough. I'm missing a few fibers.
Yeah, man. You just need to believe a little bit more.
The recovering screen
And
where it's just actually
exist.
fast forwarding through a replay. That's what we're looking at right now.
Ooh. I'm just staring into the eyes of our tennis right now and be like, recovering.
That's sexy,
So,
man.
I believe in you. You can recover from your addiction to the kala, which is, you know,
Oh yeah.
sometimes you just gotta cut that off,
Looking
and
straight into his eyes.
it's tough. Tough to exist without the kala when you're used to it like that.
It just says game paused at the top. I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what this means. It's a Raystar
Yeah, I think this is
claim.
Hawkeye is gonna give the 3-2-1, and then we're gonna get started.
Uh, uh, uh.
You know, there's
Uh.
3-2-1, and there's
Oh, and this is the 3-2-1.
1, right? 1-1-1, which is actually a Terran all-in version of the 3-2-1 countdown, which everyone knows.
Everybody knows the 3-2-1-1. You get 3 SCVs, you get 2 orbital commands, you get 1
right.
factory, 1 barracks, 1 starport, and you go for it.
That's right. You heard it first here. The most OP build ever invented. Drenok just invented it. It's real.
I was the guy. I was that guy who made it.
We're the guy. You've always wanted
wow,
to be that guy.
innovated.
It's happened live on
Wow.
stream. Our innovation. Not the player, but the embodiment of what that is and what that means.
I think I'm the player, actually. I'm the embodiment of what that is and the player.
That's pretty awesome. But in any case, we've got some follow-ups coming down over here. Blink and armor upgrade and not attack. Oftentimes helpful.
Depth's already good enough.
Many Marines of the Mariner player, and especially actually because the Marauder got changed to do 2 shots, so armor is even more powerful than it used to be against Terrans. So going armor first. One of these things that we saw long time ago, back in the day of Wings of Liberty, One Forge plays in PvT was a thing, and you'd say, oh, which one do you get first? And like, yes, you must get the armor, especially when paired with the Guardian Shield. It's very powerful. And now, it's even more powerful, which is great. But we do have Blink coming up over here. Stim as well. Stim, probably one of the most important upgrades in the entire game. If you're a Terran player and you're not getting Stim, you're actually just doing it wrong. Or you're meching. But, you know, if you're not meching, you're
Still get
careful.
stim in that situation. I feel like you still get stim just in case every once in a while. Like, yeah, we'll just throw a little bit of gas to that.
Yep.
As Jack Attack was explaining, the Marauder's a little bit different. Armor is applied twice since it's 2 attacks, so that's good. And also just gotta point out, I feel like Guardian Shield is very underrated, and people used it at the beginning of each expansion. Not so much Legacy of the Void, but people would always use it. And now they're like, yeah, we just like force fields, but it takes 2 damage off the overall incoming attacks, or just that's not quite how it works, technically not overall, but each attack is 2 damage less, so I don't know why it's not used as much, because that is a huge modifier and change to the battlefield.
Well,
Oh, this observer does spot iaguz moving out.
OP actually is the complete reason for it. Looks like we got some Bio Liberator play. This is going to be a bit of a move out here. So far, we've had mostly a passive game. A lot of times on the bigger maps, on average, you are going to see a little bit more passive starts because that distance between the two bases, or the rush distance, as it's called, is really what dictates the early game, more so than most other factors. It creates a defender's advantage that prevents either player from dealing significant damage to the other. So as a result, we're going to have the double pylon cannon come up here for defense and a little bit of warp in. I guess having trouble finding a hole here. Ooh,
Oh, a
nice play from Neeb there. Ends up just not being enough, just barely not enough. The disruptor's gonna come out. Oh my god! Oh, what a disruptor hit! That was amazing. Oh, the medevacs were there. They just didn't pick up the units in time, and as a result, very valuable disruptor play.
Definitely a very valuable disruptor play, and that has allowed Neeb to secure this third base. Now that it's finished, potentially iaguz can't run and try to kill it, but back at home for iaguz, he's got a CC on the way. We'll see what he does next. Robotics Bay for Neeb, you know, constant disruptor production. We have +1 attack now coming out, and it's really interesting that we also see whatever that's called, resonating glaives, the adept upgrade coming too for these drops. I honestly don't see it that much. I just see most Protoss players completely commit to the adept or the blink stalker in this situation, but we're seeing Neeb be a little bit innovative, and now on the main base there is no bio to do anything really right here. These adepts are going to go.
Oh my god, so many workers being killed right now.
Another big disruptor shot. 2 liberators will liberate down at this third base position, just pushing back the army of Neeb. A lot of marauders here. Disruptors did damage, but now Neeb's got to be careful. Where's his mothership core?
Oh my god, mothership core way out of position or non-existent. I have not the slightest clue, and attacking before that +1 attack upgrade is finished. Lots of damage dealt by both sides, but in any case, oh, the disruptor shot! Oh!
Got
I
killed.
love that. I love those plays. That's so awesome. For those of you who don't know, if you kill the disruptor while the shot is out there, it will not explode. You have that very critical, very time-sensitive information that you have to deal with, and you have to say you either pick up or you kill the disruptor in time, and just barely iaguz got that disruptor in time before the Purification Nova went off. But we have a bit of a trade, 37 or so workers for 1 expansion. The worker counts are 55 to 25. About 11 of those workers are inefficient for Neeb, so generally speaking, as far as economies go, it's about 44 workers to 25, if you want to make a comparable number going on there. Mules too, which are quite nice, but overall...
Shot could be... Oh, no.
Could be a big
now you gotta
win.
overhype it. It almost is like this could be really big because iaguz isn't looking at that area, but then you didn't micro the disruptor. So sadly, for now, the third base of Neeb was destroyed. And honestly, if we think about it, that was a pretty early third base anyways. And how many kills did he get? He got 43 worker kills.
Something ridiculous.
I'd say that was actually okay.
Other than actually the number. Oh my god, 44 dead workers. Can't believe it. Nice drop. Gonna try to even the score here. It will help out to some extent. Keep in mind that mining out is happening a lot faster, and man, this is a lot of damage. He also has the upgrade structure. He's at least going to unpower it. He could focus it down. Disruptor coming in for defense here. The Purification Nova is out and gets a couple of units, but the pickup is imminent. It's one of those interesting things about the interaction with Blink Disruptor, which is a pretty common unit composition right now, is that the Disruptor forces the pickup and the Blink allows you to go ahead and target down those medevacs. So very rough, very difficult decision-making process on the fly for the Terran to make in these kind of scenarios.
It definitely is difficult, especially when during that fight there was a couple of adepts on the left-hand side of the map in iaguz's main base, but iaguz going for another drop now, and the disruptor shot again could be pretty big. Almost very low on health, and exactly as Jack Attack said, forcing a pickup from that disruptor, blink forward and take it out, and still, as you guys can see, the observer of Neeb, he has a lot of observers. He's got 4 observers out on the map. He knows exactly what's going on, and after defending the drops, killing so many workers, he's moving out, and he's feeling incredibly confident. Not only that, but +2 is just about done. What upgrades do we actually have for iaguz here? We do have actually 1-1 for iaguz too, so the +1-1 will just even it out for Neeb, and we'll see how he engages into this. A little bit hairy, moving into these liberators, does snipe 1 though. Oh, the disruptor! Oh,
interesting move here. He is going to be able to take out this Widow Mine very easily here. Ooh, nice blink forward there, but he is going to have to pay for that. Nice splitting from iaguz there. Wow, avoiding a lot of damage necessary, but at the end it's not enough. GG. Neeb takes the game. There's a reason they call micro micro and macro macro, and that is because macro makes a large difference and micro makes many small differences. And unfortunately, despite the many really cool micro moments we had from iaguz, the macro moments were very much in the favor of Neeb, like killing 44 workers. What the heck is going on? That's so crazy.
I
Oh,
almost
God.
call it micro, though, because it was the micro that allowed him to kill the 44 workers of the adept drop, not his macro, and that his macro was just kind of normal off the back of it. So I almost would say that it was
I would
his
actually
micro was
say-
better.
All right, okay. I would say that Neeb's micro had an impact on the macro of iaguz by killing workers, hurting the economy, and therefore having the larger effect than the unit-to-unit interaction that iaguz was doing very well in towards the end of that game. But however you want to spin it, we are mostly just being silly humans on the screen.
We are mostly being as silly humans on the screen. Of course, by the way, beautiful splits of disruptors or from the disruptors.
Yeah.
There was one at the very beginning, which I know you like exploded about Jack Attack, and it was 5-6 Marines. It was a good shot, but after that, you know what? iaguz learned. He started to split, but the economy was not there to produce enough bio to actually just push back the Stalker Force. That again, though, like I mentioned during the game, I'm actually very surprised we saw both Resonating Glaives and Blink come out. For Neeb, you most often see, okay, I'm going to go Blink Stalker push, or I'm going to use Adept and then go into some Robo play and kind of Adept Mortal, something like that. I have not seen the mix, which, albeit, is a really cool mix and works well because of drops, and just Blink is good, period.
Well,
But
yeah,
still,
I think
kind of
the
unique.
interesting thing about the Disruptor Gateway play is, like, before, way back in the day, you used to see Creator do this, like, very gateway-heavy, low-tech, double upgrades kind of a thing, and I feel like Neeb also going pretty heavy into the gateway units and investing in the upgrades as well to sort of make up for the lower amount of tech. But in any case, we've got another game on our hands. We've got Orbital Shipyard, and we have spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It's iaguz.
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner from, what is it, Butterback? Truly it is Baby Rage. The red Protoss player, Neeb. Or Neeblitz. I feel like it technically is Neeblitz, because that's what he comes up on Wikipedia, but then they're like, If you actually search his name.
I'm on him. I have his profile open right now. Neeblitz?
Does it not come up as Neeblitz? I feel like,
it's Neeb.
oh,
For me. Whoa!
One of his in-game
We
names
have
may have been
StarCraft
Neeblitz,
happening, though,
but
with
iaguz.
Proxy barracks over here with some gas. We might see some Reaper shenanigans, or it might just be, you know, some Proxy Marauder, but Reaper shenanigans are my favorite.
I've seen a couple Proxy Marauders actually in Legacy of the Void, but I'm gonna guess it will be Reaper shenanigans, and this is a perfect map for it. You can jump up to the third base position of our Protoss friend Neeb, and then into the main. For now, though, really, Neeb is playing completely blind, not even sending out a probe scout, so the only thing he's going to know is when this first Reaper gets here. He knows it's going to be a little bit early, and maybe he can defend that, but honestly, if you're going to go for something like this, I'd rather just see double Reaper. But on the other hand, when I have been playing Terran against Protoss specifically on this map, if I do go double Reaper, the Protoss just moseys on his mothership core over to my side of the map and throws down pylons in my main.
Yeah, well, and the other thing, too, is sort of the Adept performs so well against the Reaper that I feel like Reaper play in this capacity, like Proxy Reaper, is a lot less common as a result. So I'm really interested to see, being such a fan of Reapers, how exactly iaguz makes this work. I wonder if we're going to see a bunker here. The SCV is here to help. Gonna mess around a bit. We do have the exploding bomb there. Gonna try to help out. And, ooh, taking a lot of melee damage here from these probes zapping away. The Adept is being chrono boosted out. So far, no workers killed. One worker killed. And we have two. But overall, this Adept is going to come out and finish this off. Very likely. I mean, you know, Reapers get away from a lot of stuff, but Adept is just not like one of those things you can really get away from.
Not even close to it, and may I remind you, Adepts do extra damage versus Light, which definitely is a Reaper, very biological, and get killed. And with that first SCV being up there, you're kind of asking maybe to be a bunker. I feel like at first I was thinking it was going to be just for some extra surface area if the probes got us
Still
around,
building
but
Reapers. Wow.
after it didn't quite do it. Yeah, I was going to keep going a Reaper
Super
out of that
committed to
rack.
This
Back
is
at home,
really weird.
iaguz is putting on 3 more racks in a factory, but yeah, it is really weird. I guess it's, you can't do anything to me if I take up your attention, but again, I've so often seen the Protoss and like, okay, I'll throw pylons in your base.
Yeah, look how far supply behind in supply iaguz right now, going for these Reapers, not really getting very much done with them at all. It's gonna send 2 Reapers in here, but it's
Two
very
Reapers
quickly
cannot
they're
fight
gonna get
one
taken down.
Adept.
They're gonna come through. They're gonna be able to get some damage done. That grenade helps them out a lot. Nice zoning pylon here. Makes it so he can't keep running through in that direction and sandwiches him between the pylon and the adept. Really nice positional play here from Neeb to mitigate most of the damages. Only 2 workers killed with a lot of early investment, and in the meantime, a little bit of harassment had been going down for the adept in the front of iaguz's base. Nothing really done. But in the end of all things, we have this really, really risky play from iaguz. Didn't pay off. He's behind 8 workers and some significant supply as well.
iaguz is down a lot right here, and we'll see if he can get himself back into it and see if the power of the mule is as strong as we think. On the other hand, though, I'm just thinking about this. The KD8 charges didn't do the most damage, but at first, kind of in the back of my head, I'm thinking, is he going to go for a Hell drop off the back of this? Hellbat drop off the back of this after a lot of KD8 charges. I'd love to see a Protoss, my bad, Terran player go for Reaper drops. I'm serious about that. With just a couple Reapers in just for the KD8 charges with Marines or Hellbats to really decimate the mineral line right off the bat. It's not even like, oh, he decimates in a couple seconds. It's just gone.
That's a pretty wild strategy, man. That's a whole lot of gas in one medevac, because I'm pretty sure Reapers only take up 1 slot, so you could fit 8 Reapers in a medevac. But if that thing got sniped down, that would be like one of the most painful medevacs ever lost.
I think it would only be something like 1 or 2 Reapers, then with Hellbats, and then the 2 Reapers would just KD8 charge it, bring the probe down to half health, and then the Hellbat just destroys it all.
Or even just throw the Hellbats down and KD8 charge them into the Hellbats. They fly over the Hellbat, and the Hellbat is like dealing splash damage as they're in the air and completely
It'd be intense, man.
Yeah, man. That's gonna happen. You heard it here first. Trynock making the long plays, long calls. You'll see it.
Definitely long plays. For now, though, we see a drop for Adepts. These Adepts do not have a Resident Enclaves. None of them have any upgrades at all. Still, they potentially could do decently versus the bio if with some micro. Thankfully, there's a Viking for iaguz, and Adepts don't shoot up. So for now, this Warp Prism's actually going to be very careful if he wants to get home alive. There's dropping the Adepts out of it. Third base of Neeb is going down now. He does have 1 Disruptor back home, and I feel like it's still kind of emulating a Sentry in the idea that this wasn't the goal of the Disruptor, but a lot of people were saying, okay, we don't want Protoss to be able to have to survive off force fields, but now it's with Disruptors. It's kind of like, well, I have 1 Disruptor. Hopefully I get a good hit.
So this is interesting, right? The Warp Prism was running away. It had no reason to drop the Adepts, but it did drop the Adepts. And then went ahead and picked up some of these Disruptors. And that was scouted. Not the picking up the Disruptors, but the dropping units out of the Warp Prism for no reason. So you've got to assume he's coming in with something different. And the Viking is, just barely not in place. We have the, oh my god, everything goes down! Oh,
10 workers dead by Neeb beautifully, but now this fight, actually this Warp Prism has a lot of gas in it, as you're mentioning, with lots of Reapers. That is 2 Disruptors, and Neeb cannot afford to lose that. Neeb actually has got the Gravatic drive. I've never even said that out loud. It is Warp Prism speed. Warp Prism speed is down, which makes this Warp Prism just completely outdo the Viking, and it's going to go around for another attack on this right-hand side. iaguz may actually be able to catch these Disruptors out of position. It's got to be really careful. There's the Disruption fields going in, and they were good. Could have been a little bit better, but for now, we're going to see a full retreat, and it's going to be 3-4 Disruptors, some Gateway units. It's going to come down to those Disruptor blasts, but there's almost enough that I feel like even with splits, they could potentially just decimate the army itself.
Yeah, both players preparing here. iaguz is going to be able to make it onto the high ground. No, will not be able to make it onto the high ground before the engagement. So Neeb is going to be able to fight with that high ground advantage. Keeping in mind, though, that is mostly mitigated with these air units. There is no inherent high ground advantage in StarCraft 2. It's only a vision blocker.
was a really nice move with those Adepts. I don't know if it was intentional by Neeb, it was more of a scout from him. But with the Adepts moving down, it did cause iaguz to stutter for 1 second, saying, ooh, I mean, if you do commit to this, I don't want to surround or something. Very nice Disruptor shot. 3 Disruptors left, we'll see that's enough. 1 Disruptor goes out, and we'll catch a Marauder and 2 Marines. Another Disruptor shot, looking for it. And as I've said before, and I've casted this in early beta, every second a Disruptor is not disrupting is a second lost because it doesn't cost energy, it's simply time. And yes, there's situations where you don't know if they're going to push in, you don't want to keep doing that, but still every second that's not going down. By the way, there's a huge warp in happening in iaguz's main, lots of Adepts at the same time. iaguz is looking into this. 1 Liberator going down, there's the Adepts, by the way, the entire fight in the right hand side. There's 2 Adepts going down, 2 Liberators going down, big Disruptor shots, another couple Disruptor shots do go down, and I think the entire force of iaguz has just been destroyed by Disruptors.
That's
GG.
it.
Conceding 3rd game, Neeb takes 3-0.
Wow.
Neeb gets $25. I feel like, did he get Blink that game too? Did he get Blink?
I'm not sure, but basically, iaguz got beat by the exact same thing 2 games in a row, more or less. There are obviously always going to be discrepancies, but losing that many workers to, Adepts 2 games in a row got to be real frustrating. iaguz even taking the next step in frustration and acting into the I'm going to concede that 3rd game, not even playing it out. Unfortunately, for all of us, who I'm sure would have loved to see a 3rd game, but, when you're playing chess and you see that your opponent has checkmate, and you respect them, they're going to checkmate you, you just tip over your king. And when you're playing StarCraft, sometimes that happens as well in the form of a best of series. But in any case, we do have Fantasy versus True coming up next.
Fantasy versus True should be good. That'll be a TVZ. And guys, we're going to go to a very short ad break before that next best of 5 series. Just FYI, Neeb got $25, I believe. Yeah, it is $25 to win the preliminary.
Indeed.
Next up will be Fantasy versus True, as Jack Attack mentioned. Then after that, it's going to be Scarlet versus, who is that? I can't read my handwriting.
Scarlet versus Liquid Hero?
Hero, yes, it is a Liquid Hero.
It's one of the heroes. It's Liquid Hero, thank you.
I believe it is Liquid Hero, guys.
I'm not 10,000% sure. I only like to say things when I'm 10,000% sure. Only 100% sure it's Liquid Hero. So, in any case, you're totally right. Didn't mean to steal your thunder. It is time for a break, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.